Good morning. I saw that it was 4:44 and I said I better quick start. I was planning on starting a little bit later, but something said no, start now, so I quickly lit the candle and turned on the camera. Oh, what a beautiful morning. I have my gratitude shirt on, which I haven't worn for a while actually. And I don't like that candle, seems to be out of the picture. Let me move it in closer. At least you can see it now. Oh, oh, folks, I'm telling you, this is quite a ride that I'm going on with all of you. And yes, we are in it together. In fact, today, the title that I've given this is A Society of Free People. And boy, we're quite a society, let me tell you. We are connected by invisible threads that run from eternity into infinity. Oh, and we're waking up, and that's a beautiful thing. I did write a blurb, and for those of you that are listening, it's really, really important for you to get this. I mean, I'm taking you on a journey that looks like it's about me. But if you really pay attention, you're going to realize something different. That it's more than just about me, and that what happens from my perspective to me is more than just about me. It's about a society of free people remembering who we are. Okay, here's my blurb. Okay. I get a bill that is 3/4 of my normal monthly income. I automatically believe it is mine to pay. But is it? Do I owe the Law Society or Bar Association anything at all? Maybe not. When I think like a slave, I cannot hear. And yes, I feel disconnected. Of course. How difficult it is to think from our core essence when we've been so well trained to be victims of rules that really are not about us. After I did yesterday's video, when I talked about the heavens seeming like they were silent, and they were, to me they were silent. As I said in the blurb, I was thinking like a slave. But I talked to my friend Daniela in Germany for an hour and 15 minutes. And then I went on to my book study group, which is always a pretty amazing thing. I mean, the things that we discuss are nothing short of brilliant. The things that come up and the honesty. I mean, I encourage you, if you're not part of a group that can sit around and just talk about things just point blank, just the way it is, no window coding, no BS, just talk about it the way that it is. I mean, we're studying a book by Alan Cohen, and I can't remember the title in this minute, and I'm not going to try to get my brain around it. I just don't remember what it is, but it's about being genuine. I do know that, about being authentic, and it's so important for each of us in this society of free people to interact with others that are also awakening. It's so important because we literally nourish each other. We sustain each other. We validate each other. And as we wake up from this nightmare that we've been living in, it's so important to be nurtured and to be validated. It's so important. Anyway, I've been struggling for the last couple of weeks especially, as I've been trying to put all that I'm learning about the law together. And I've been trying to do what I was advised by one of my advisors, to try to approach it from the law. That's why he encouraged me to get the Florida Rules of Court, and why I've spent time looking at all the codes and ordinances. And let me tell you something, folks. If you sit down and you start reading these law books, I mean, you're going to go crazy. I mean, I'm amazed that I'm able to keep my sanity as much as I can, as much as I am, I should say, when I'm spending so much time looking at these things and trying to connect the dots and to fit into the framework of a society that's not my society. It doesn't belong to me. I'm not a member of the Law Society. I'm not a member of a bar association. Neither do I want to be. It's a fiction, folks. How can I hear when I'm identifying myself as a fiction and trying to fit into a fictional world? I can't do it. Now, I did file an appeal. I did. And I've been trying to create the documentation for the appeal based on the rules. And I will use some of the rules in my appeal, no doubt. But I've been trying to avoid going to the higher law. The higher law is natural law. I'm a human being, and so are you. And we live in a world where we're not allowed to be human, where the world's system, the matrix, does not recognize us as human beings. You see, human beings have unalienable and unalienable rights. We have natural rights that are granted to us by our Creator, as enumerated in the Declaration of Independence, as enumerated in the Bill of Rights in the United States Constitution, as given in the Magna Carta, going way back, way back. And there's been other documents throughout the ages that have revealed natural law. And under natural law is commercial law. Everything is contract. Now, I got this paper from the court. I got this bill from the court, okay? Is it a contract? They're telling me that I owe $600 and some odd, 3/4 of my normal monthly income. They're telling me I owe this. Do I really owe it? Now, I'm going to respond today. I didn't know this until toward the end of the day yesterday, actually, that I needed to respond to this within the 72-hour period and ask for clarification, which is exactly what I'm going to do. They have to show me where I contracted with them to obligate myself to pay this bill. I'm wanting you to get something. As I'm sharing honestly with you, I'm wanting you to get this. I got this bill, and I naturally assumed that I owed it. I naturally took it for granted that this is something that I owe. They've sent me these numbers, and they say, you owe this amount of money. But I never contracted with them, as far as I know. I never contracted with them. I certainly never signed any paper that authorized them to charge me this money, as far as I know. And so I'm going to put the burden of proof on them and see what they come up with. Now, a couple of people yesterday gave me a couple of small donations, $60 total. And I appreciate that. Now, that's about, it's less than 1/10 of what this bill is, but I may not end up having to pay this bill. And I may end up having to pay it. I don't know. One thing I do want to make really clear with everybody that listens to these things is this is not about money. We live in a world where everything is about money. And we are familiar with a lot of religious and so-called spiritual people who make everything about money. They charge exorbitant fees for their healing practices, and I mean, I'm telling you folks, I don't like that. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want to make this ever a forum and a platform to beg for money. I don't want it to be that. I despise that, folks. I think it's really, really wrong from a spiritual place. I think it's wrong. I think it's part of the matrix when people do that. They're still living in the matrix. As I was in the matrix yesterday and for the past few days, when I've been struggling with my with the silence, when I've been struggling with I'm trying to think of the word that I'm using, resistance. I'm finding all this resistance. I'm resisting because somebody's trying to force me into their box. And I'm trying to fit. And I don't fit. And everything inside of me is crying out, Ron, you don't belong in that box. You don't belong in anybody's box. You're free. Will you stop thinking like a victim? That everybody's trying to put you in a box? Will you stop thinking that way, Ron? Of course you're going to feel angry. And when you still are arguing and you're thinking that you have to fit in the box, you have to fit in the box, heaven's going to go silent on you. And you're going to feel disconnected. Why? Because you're putting yourself in the box. And in the box you can't hear. You can't see. You can't feel. And that's not who you are. That's not who you are. And folks, are you hearing me? It's not who you are either. But we easily go there. I easily go there. I'm giving you a living demonstration, day by day, of process, of awakening. So important in this ninth wave that we understand that this is a process. This is an unfolding, an uncovering, a revealing. This is the apocalypse. This is the revealing. It's the opening of the underworlds. Everything that's been hidden to us is opening up so that we have an understanding, so that we can co-create a world that makes sense, a world that is sustainable, a society of free people, where we love each other, where we tell each other the truth. And truth in law is the highest thing. But the way that the Matrix has set the law up, it's a legal system that is anything but truthful. Truth doesn't even matter. That's why I used affidavits in going through my process. Now, did I make mistakes in my affidavits? Yes, I did, because I'm learning. I made mistakes. I can go back, and what I'm learning now, I can see where I did some things incorrectly, where I included things in my affidavits that should not have been included. I'm realizing that. Nevertheless, an affidavit is a statement of truth under oath. And that holds high level of authority in law. In fact, it is the authority. Truth is the authority. And a society of free people are a society of people that love, and a society of people that tell the truth. A society of genuine, authentic human beings that embrace their humanity and their divinity along this path of life, where we are coming back into our power that we forfeited so long ago that we don't remember we even ever had it. But we did. We did. And as my friend from Germany reminded me, and as other friends remind me, we are so interconnected. She said she's even been in my house and that I've been in her house. And physically that's not true. But we travel when we sleep. We travel. And we are connected. And this thing is a journey back to wholeness, back to oneness, to unity consciousness. It's a journey where we rediscover our power to co-create the world that we want to see. So anyway, let me just say in the final closing, those of you that wish to donate, yes, the Spirit has told me I am to be willing to accept donations, and I am. But it's not about donations. You're going to hear me whether anybody donates or not. Because I know a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are in the box that I've easily put myself into. And we don't have to do that, folks. We don't have to. But we do it all the time anyway. I do it. because that's how we've been trained. So I hope what I've shared with you this morning is encouraging to you, because it's encouraging to me. I was uplifted yesterday greatly, and I've gone over, oh well. I was very much uplifted, and I'm very grateful this morning for the breakthrough that I had yesterday, reminding me who I am, and reminding me that the matrix does not apply to me just because I think it does, and just because somebody tells me it does. It doesn't apply unless I make it apply. Anyway, may you be blessed today as I am blessed this morning. May you be enlightened and awakened. May your soul come alive, and may you recognize the connection that you have, the infinite connection from eternity past to infinity future. We are connected one to the other, under one God, actually in one God. We are part of that divine being, and we are each divine in our own right. Know that, folks. Know that. That is the message of all religion. Ultimately, that's where it all points to, even though it's messed it up a little bit in the process. But anyway, I've gone way over. I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry. I love you. Namaste.